Don't stop fishing, guys.
Nighttime fishing for big bluefin tuna on the Pacific Voyager as everybody is bit.
Please don't forget to support the Friedman Adventurers family members who make this all possible, like the taxman, Tim Marquez, and your garage door man, Joe Welker, who does a great job and gets rave reviews here at Friedman Adventures. Heating and or air conditioning needs, it's our dear friend John Lopez, and also the Island Spirit, Ventura Sport Fishing. You can't beat it. Chris Isaac and the El Patron out of Long Beach Sport Fishing, www.longbeachsportfishing.org.
Get out of bed and wake up the kids, 'cause you know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Fishing reports up and down the coast. Your Phil Friedman, your coffee-loving host. So much fishing intel, it feels like cheating when you tune into the morning briefing. Inshore, offshore, from the surf, bluefin, yellowtail, pod, surf, perch. They'll tell you where the fish are and what they're eating when you tune into the morning briefing. So give it a like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified of all the fishing content coming your way. Friedman Adventures is here to make your fishing day. It's a morning briefing, morning briefing.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful, and I mean active, beautiful Surfside, California this Monday morning. Man, is it great to be back with you all. We've got 2 live shows coming your way this evening. 4 p.m. I'll be live from our home base, 22nd Street Landing in beautiful San Pedro, California. That's the Danny Cadota Show, veteran captain who has so much knowledge to share with you, and you can ask Danny a question. Then at 6 p.m. tonight, it's Tackle Shop Confessions, live from Island Fishing Tackle in Carson, California, with my dear friend Sam De La Torre. Again, you can interact with Sam. You can ask him about what tackle is appropriate for what bite. You want to pair a rod and reel together, Sam will have the answers. And not only that, he can run around the tackle store and show you exactly what he's talking about. Man, I'm telling you, look at this beautiful ocean. No wind, flat, calm, and the birds are really, really active, which bodes well for the surf fishing bite. But we're going to talk bluefin tuna. It is really good right now. Excellent bluefin tuna fishing. We'll check in on our yellowtail bite at the Coronado Islands, talk a little long range Mexico. We'll go up to San Francisco, where fishing remains red hot. And of course, we'll cover the Channel Islands and everything in between, including our local bite. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Man, is that good? The Orange County Fair has come to an end, and I'm already kind of like missing it. I know I've been whining about it this whole time, but it really was a lot of fun. Met so many great folks out there. So nice to have had you with us. The Tootsie Report says that it's nice warm water here this morning. It's really beautiful. If you don't mind, hit that like button, share these videos everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that rotten, filthy, deplorable, stinky little bell, and you'll be notified when there's new content. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Let's go to Mexico and talk a little Mexico Lindo, because down there around the San Quintin area, 140 miles down below the border, excellent fishing going on down there for yellowtail. Maybe not as wide open as it once was, but it's still very, very good. And every day is different. One day you'll have kind of a scratchy yellow bite, and then the next day you'll have it full speed. Yo-yo iron, surface iron, definitely the way to go. Really great fishing on that. And then, of course, you can add to that some really good calico bass fishing if you want to focus on that. Rockfish, sheephead, whitefish, and offshore. We'll cover that when we get to my buddy Jeff Lingle here in a moment. Actually, Jeff worked down below there, so we'll have a report as far down as 185 miles, maybe to see what's on the way up. Did Jeff catch any yellowfin dorado? How was his bluefin bite last night? He's on the beach fishing yellows here this morning. We'll keep our eyes on that. Ensenada's been really great here recently. Great fishing on the bluefin tuna. Rolling up on those foamers of BFT and throwing poppers has been the way to go. We love the tuna riot poppers. You should get some today because not only are effective on that side of the border, they've been very effective up here in this neck of the woods when you roll up on those foamers of bluefin tuna. Good bluefin. There's flurries of barracuda there in Ensenada. You still have that going on. There's some really good yellowtail action now. There's some yellowtail on the kelps outside of Ensenada, and then there's yellows at the islands there, of course, around Todos Santos Island. The Coronado Islands, where our friend Carlos Cortez has been fishing, he's still been getting yellowtail, but that bite is down also. We'll see what's up with that. We have yellowtail south of Ensenada also down there around Santo Tomas. Plenty of calico bass, a little bit of sand bass still around. Plenty of rockfish if you want to do that, whitefish, sheephead, and, bocaccio, vermilions, all of that stuff biting very, very well. So Mexico is looking good. Long range fishing out at the rocks. We may not be catching a lot of wahoo, but the quality's been really beautiful. Nice fishing out there for the Royal Polaris recently. The Independents had a shot of that stuff as they headed home. They went in on the beach and picked at a variety of other fish. Paulina and Matt from the Independence office. Man, every time I go on the Independence, that's one thing I look forward to. Seeing Paulina's big smile and Matt at her side. Her lovely husband is really a great guy. And they had a great trip on the Independence with soda pop and the great crew of the Indy. Yellow's biting on the long range scene. We're talking 8-day trips and greater. It's been good down there on that 18 to 25 pound grade yellowtail and also good yellowfin tuna fishing. Certainly they've had some times when they didn't bite, but most of the time you're getting good catches of that 40 to 80, 90 pound YFT. That's been really, really good. Let's talk bluefin tuna. This weather is gorgeous right now, and that bodes well for better catches and more bluefin tuna, although I don't know how it can get a whole heck of a lot better. We're going to get some wind Tuesday evening, it looks like, out on the outer areas like the backside of San Clemente Island. But up until that time, we're looking really good here in terms of the weather, and that's really all you need right now because the moon phase is perfect. By that I mean we've seen these fish, these bluefin, go off the bite on the full moon on a fairly regular basis. Even deep now into summer, we've been seeing that happen. So we've moved away from that. We've got nice weather, and the fish are responding with limits of being registered by many boats. There's a variety in terms of the size of fish. You've got some 10-pound bluefin tuna, and then you've got 200-plus pound bluefin tuna. Certainly Max Nui and the Pacific Voyager just returned 85 bluefin tuna, 80 to 160 pound fish. Magnificent fishing for Max and the lucky anglers who are on board that trip. It was absolutely fantastic. Heck, the Tornado, Pier Point Landing, Long Beach, on an overnight trip, 41 bluefin tuna. To give you the scope, it's not just San Diego. It extends all the way up to the Channel Islands. In fact, they're catching bluefin tuna up there around San Francisco in some cases. There's a big stretch, a lot of fish, and they're biting one more time again. Apollo, limits of bluefin tuna out of Seaforth. I'll remind you, we have a trip on the Apollo with 4 spots open September 23rd. We sail from Seaforth Sport Fishing. Send me a text if you want that trip, 657-227-6459. El Capitan with 50 bluefin tuna. A nice hit for them. And many, many, many other boats registering limits of bluefin tuna. Once again, that nighttime bite has been spectacular with some big fish biting at night. 80-pound spectra is the way to go The jigs in the 240 to 350 gram range have been working best of all. Smaller profile, well, you know, I like to say that, but I've seen the bigger profile jigs getting bit also. But something like that Sakana or the HD West Coast Jiggers jig has been super effective in this bite. It's really been good in terms of the tungsten jigs. And the old Eddie Bomb, yeah, that's still a go-to jig. You know, it's a torpedo sinker with some treble hooks on it, and it gets bit. What can I tell you? It's been working well also. It's really good. You use 80-pound Spectra, by the way, because it sinks quicker and it gives you plenty of pulling power. You can pull on a big fish with 80 pound. Believe me, it's hard to break. Tie it off to a cleat with your rod and try to break it. Pull, see how hard you can pull on that, and you'll get an idea of just what we're talking about. Now, the daytime bite, we see some smaller fish, and by smaller, I'm talking, 10 to 40 pounds, but you'll catch some bigger ones also. Sometimes those fish are very finicky. When you're fishing the bluefin, you want to go to a circle hook, and sometimes you'll have to drop down to 25-pound fluorocarbon to get a bite. Remember, you want to fish as heavy a line as you can get a bite on. You are going to figure that out on the trip. You're going to talk to the crew members, but then you're going to be observant, and you're going to see Joe Schmo in the stern getting bit on 40 every single cast. It's just that he's taking his time and choosing a good hot bait. Watch what those guys are doing who are getting bit, and that will be the key to your success. But in most cases, it has been a situation where you need some lighter fluorocarbon. I would have 25, 30, 40. I'd have a variety of top shots ready to go. That's the way to go. By the way, our bait situation, some of the times you're getting plenty of bait. Other times you get a little bit ration. Sometimes the bait's pretty beat up, and sometimes it's cured out, looking pretty darn good. We're just going to have to keep our eyes on that bait situation. That has been a volatile situation all year long, as many of you know. Our friend Jeff Lingle worked down to 185 miles below the border. He got into his usual zone there at like 170 miles, and he didn't like what he was seeing, so he ran down a little bit further. He ended up with limits of bluefin tuna down there. 3 of those fish over 100 pounds, but he said it was tough in the very beginning. Nice weather, everything looked good, but the fish had moved on him, so he had to go a little bit further south to come up with a catch on those fish. He said a lot of 40-pound, 50, 60-pound bluefin down in that neck of the woods. He said it changed on him, so he started working water temperature breaks and doing what really good captains do, started working harder, and it ended up with limits of bluefin tuna currently in on the beach down there around the San Quintin area, maybe a little south of there, trying to catch yellowtail this morning. And who knows, maybe Jeff will pop up in the live chat and tell us that the yellows are biting. Way to go, Jeff. So really great bluefin tuna fishing right now. Moon phase great, weather's great. Get a little bit of a blow up on Tuesday evening. It looks like, we'll watch that very closely, as it looks like, oh, those are not surf fishermen. It looks like beachcombers are headed this way. I like what's going on here with the birds, though. Very active here this beautiful Monday morning. And is it great to be with you again? 4 p.m. Danny Cadota Show, 6 p.m. Tackle Shop Confessions right here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel live this evening. All right, let's talk about our islands, and the Coronado Islands sputtering on us right now. It's just been such a great place to fish here the last month or so. Wide open yellowtail, bluefin mixed with it. Heck, you're on the anchor and you're catching barracuda and calico bass and bluefin and yellowtail. It's been a spectacular bite, but it's definitely showing some signs of slowing way up here over the past 48 hours. Was it the weekend boat pressure, which was substantial? I don't think so, only because it's held up to that boat pressure before. Maybe it's just time that bite kind of tailed off a little bit. Maybe it'll come roaring right back again here today. That's my hope for soon. Mission Bell with a bluefin and 7 yellowtail. Grande had 4 yellowtail at the island. San Diego had 4 yellowtail out there at the island. So those were the kind of scores we were seeing. We did have some guys who ventured offshore and picked off some yellowtail on the kelps, and there's bluefin within range of these full day guys that are fishing trips that leave in the morning and come back in the afternoon. But once again, we haven't seen really consistent scores yet. We'll see how that all plays out as we go along. We'll be watching that all for you very closely. San Clemente Island, we still see some good bluefin tuna fishing on the backside of the island, and you're so close to Clemente, you can go in there and fish for big yellows and sea bass. That's been quite good in many different cases. We've seen really great calico bass fishing on the Thunderbird. In fact, Captain Jeff Markland calls it some of the best bass fishing he's seen in years, in many, many years. So that bite has been really excellent there around San Clemente Island. You get that variety of fish. So, you know, any trip where you go out and you're catching bluefin tuna, white sea bass, halibut, yellowtail, calico bass, rockfish, I mean, those are really special trips. Historically speaking, in Southern California, those are really crazy trips. This water feels every bit of 70 degrees. Man, you're going to pick off some corbina in this kind of water. It is beautiful here this morning. I hope you can come out and do some surf fishing or go for a walk, because it's flat gorgeous here in SoCal this morning. So we're seeing some good fishing there. Up in the Channel Islands, our white sea bass have been evading us here recently. We haven't had that hit on the white sea bass, and for God's sakes, it's about time those things didn't bite. Not that I'm wishing that on anyone, but what a year in the Channel Islands. It has been absolutely phenomenal with sea bass and halibut, numbers that I don't ever remember seeing. In all the years I've been covering sport fishing or been a part of it, I don't remember ever seeing those kind of numbers. Still, there's plenty of rockfish out there, and you can get your fill of that. And there were some good halibut scores. We saw the Aloha Spirit with 3 halibut and 4 lings, a bunch of rockfish to go along with that. Endeavor had 15 halibut and a lot of rockfish, lings, you know, that kind of thing. Island Spirit on their kids' fish free trip had wonderful fishing with copious Greg Bates, the elf. He loves the word copious. He says I haven't been using it enough. So Greg, here I am, pouring my heart and soul, my copious feelings towards you. And also out there, the Mirage 25 halibut. Nothing wrong with that. 1 white sea bass and 4 halibut on board the Gray Light. So there is some really good fishing to be had up there. In fact, Daniel Hottaway and the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sport Fishing have their halibut only fishing special this Wednesday. And man, those have been fantastic this year. Guys like Travis Bright, a great Friedman Adventures family member, has been having some really great fishing on those trips. So don't forget that. Island Spirit also trying to get out tomorrow. You're going to have a light load. You can get out and catch all the rockfish you want, maybe a halibut, maybe a sea bass. Who knows what awaits you? I do know one thing that awaits you. That crew and that Captain Daniel, they will really work their tails off for you. Island Spirit, 805-676-3474. And you can also visit them at VenturaSportFishing.com. Catalina Island, well, it's been a little scratchy over there. Hadn't been wide open. The Pursuit had 3 yellows there yesterday. The El Patron said it was scratchy fishing yesterday. They worked really hard at it. And of course, Mark Sonata is running the boat during the weekdays. And Mark knows that island like the back of his hand. So I'm sure once conditions settle down a little bit, and I still think we're looking down the barrel of a good fall yellowtail bite, because we see them bouncing around there, picking at the bass. Some days the calico bass bite is really good at Catalina Island, and dropping your fluorocarbon down, 12, 15-pound fluoro, you'll get bit all day long. Guy next to you fishing 30-pound will be looking at you like, what's he doing? Why am I not getting bites? It's that light line. It's choosing a good hot bait. It's changing that bait regularly. It's paying attention to the ocean and what she offers up. Watching where a bird dips, you might want to cast in that direction because a game fish is just for some bait to the surface. All of those things really are important to your success. And on these days where they're just picking at the bass and stuff, you can do quite well. Let's talk about our local fishing. There's still yellow zooming around. The half-day guys down there in San Diego, the new Seaforth, had 7 yellowtail on, I think, their morning trip, 3 in the afternoon. They've been catching some yellows also in the evenings. They had, 13 yellows the other day. And mixed with it, a little bit of bass, that bass bite, which once was really prolific down there in San Diego has also backed off. It's a scratcher bite. That light line will come in handy for you. Oceanside, some sand and calico bass, rockfish, that kind of thing for the most part right now. We also see up here in the Newport area some sand bass. Good calico fishing there for the Dana Wharf local fleet, although a lot of shorts, but a lot of action. And then here in the LA Orange County area, we're looking at the Huntington Flats, areas like that. Scratchy sand bass fishing every once in a while. You'll come up with a good pop or two, but for the most part, it's way scratchier on the bass, falling back, sculpin, and rockfish. So you get to go home with some great table fare up there in the Santa Monica Bay. Same thing for the Marina Del Rey boats. Our great Friedman Adventures family member, Nick Ramirez, on the Spitfire yesterday. They scratched out a few bass. Of course, Nick caught some bass because he goes to that lighter line. He knows how to choose a good hot bait. And by the way, if you ever bump into Nick on a trip, he welcomes you to ask questions. He will share his knowledge with you. I've watched Nick from starting out to becoming an expert, great fisherman, and a great reporter, enthusiast for our local fishing. Great stuff. Nick on the Spitfire yesterday, very scratchy bass fishing, sculpin, some rockfish to go along with that. And there's some good, decent fishing up there in the Channel Islands also. A little bit of sand bass around town, also some rockfish. Hey, I didn't roll you up the coast entirely and just mentioned that Santa Barbara, same thing, rockfish, but you know, they get some good halibut and sea bass scores. It's about time they did that. Again, they've had great fishing this year. Avila Beach, Morro Bay, really excellent fishing going on up there for rockfish. Monterey, a lot of ling cuts. And up there in San Francisco, lovely Martha sport fishing with a great day yesterday. Limits of stripers, excellent striped bass fishing, and 9 halibut to go along with it, as I previously mentioned. Outside, great rockfish, and also a chance at some really big bluefin tuna. That's fabulous, really great to see that. Let's talk to Southern California surf. I love how active this looks. I'd be throwing a chrome crocodile lure here all day long. Little 3/4 ounce. You cast right beyond that wave you see breaking, and now you're coming through that water. Remember, those surf fish are staging behind that wave you see right there, and when it breaks, presumably it's going to dredge up some mussels and clams and sand crabs, and those little devils start flooding in behind that breaking wave, searching around, see what they can find. So keep that in mind when you're throwing your lure. You're making your cast right now, and then you're coming through there when the surf fish are going to come in and start to look around. Down there around Huntington Beach, around the pier, a few more corabina down there. Yellowfin croaker also hanging out. Occasional halibut. We saw one legal halibut taken down here at the Tower, Anderson Street and Pacific Coast Highway. It's about time for those spot fin croaker to bite, and digging sandworms up here in the sand is a really good way to get bit. But you can go down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, and you can pick up all the bait you'll need. Ghost shrimp's a good bait for that. Also, they have lugworms down there. Highly recommend you do that. And make sure, once again, that you watch the tides. I like that window, 2 hours before the high tide until 2 hours after the high. That seems to work really well. That is not to say that on a low tide, you can't come down and catch a halibut or corvina or some other species. You may have to make a longer cast, but that is definitely something you can pull off here in Surfside. I've seen several guys fishing here recently, and I don't see them back. That tells me maybe their wives are mad at them or the fish didn't bite. It's one of those two. Up there in Long Beach, we see a few halibut down in that neck of the woods up there in the Santa Monica Bay, Topaz Rock Jetty down in the Mondstadt Pier. Still some corvina being taken there, as well as between the Hermosa and Manhattan Beach Pier, El Segundo, El Porto area, also biting pretty well. All right, my friends, it is absolutely gorgeous here. It's a beautiful morning. I hope you can get out for a walk, do some surf fishing, go for a hike. Nick Ramirez does a lot of that. Also, just get out into the great outdoors and enjoy yourselves. Man, get off the couch and start living, because this is truly a blessing that, man, I really put a lot of value on. 4 p.m., Danny Cadota Show, live from 22nd Street Landing. 6 p.m., the great show, Island Fishing Tackle, Tackle Shop Confessions. You're going to love both those shows. You can interact, and, of course, we'll be bringing you up to date all day long. If there's any breaking news I will have it for you here on Friedman Adventures. Have a great day. Thanks again. It's a beautiful Monday. And I hope to see you really, really soon.